So I'm getting ready to replace the drive belts on this Bolens riding lawnmower. And this is probably similar for any other base model MTD made riding lawnmower. So Troy-Bilt or Craftsman or any of the other older machines. This one was made in 2008, I believe. This one, it's got the 6-speed variable drive pulley system on it. And this is a 2-belt system. Both of these belts are in the description if you want to buy them. I almost forgot to note, when you are going to get ready to pull these belts, you want this all the way down and park, because that'll take all the tension off of the belts, so it'll make it a lot easier to remove them. Right now, what this machine is doing is it only goes reverse and it's sometimes going forward, but I have to keep tension on the gear shift here and forward. So I've got to have it like all the way over here and pulled back a little bit to keep tension on the belt for it to. So the belts are worn out. I know that the smaller one looks worse than the front one, but I am just going to replace both. First thing I did was take the battery and the tray out. Some of the other machines will just have the 2 bars going across the bottom in lieu of this, so you would just take those out anyways. But in order to get this rear pulley off, if you look, you can see the belt goes in between the pulley and the frame. So we have to pull the pulley up just enough to get the belt off. Now what we do for this is, you can see these 2 holes in this pulley, and we're going to see if we can just rotate this around just so we can get a good enough bite on it, and get a 1/4 inch extension or something to shove through here, a bolt, who knows, you know what else. But you want it to basically act as a brake here, so it stops itself on this bar, because we have to pull that nut off. So in order to get that nut off, I ended up sticking 2 extensions through that hole, and then I used a 7/8 socket and a long extension here, and just broke the torque on it. So now we should be able to just pull it out by hand. I think that WD-40 helped a little bit too. There we go. So I'm just gonna pull it off the splines just enough for us to get this belt out. Got it off that front pulley. So now we should be good just to pull her out. And I got it. You guys can see how worn this thing is. When I first got this machine, I didn't think it was that bad, but I didn't really look too hard at it. But yeah, this thing is done for. Now, in order to make this a little bit easier to do the drive belt, what I did was I disconnected this end, that cotter key, that end with that cotter key, was able to shift this forward, got that L hook out of the bracket here, it just comes right out, no big deal. The belt's off the bottom pulley. I have to do work to this deck anyways. The right side pulley is seized up, so I'm gonna have to replace that, sharpen the blades and whatnot. So this has got to come off anyways. We also have a control cable back here that's got to come off as well. That is held on with that cotter key right there. So we'll pull that off, angle that spring out. Hopefully we'll have enough slack. You'll see on the cable, it's got this square retention clip at the end of it. That's what the cotter key is retaining. So once that's out, you can pull it out from the back and get it out of the bracket that's on the deck. So that hunk of junk's out of the way. Got my scissor jack underneath. Gonna whip off that pulley bolt so we can bring that down just enough to get the belt past those 2 keepers, which are a part of the frame. Fish the belt off, and then put the new belt on. And just like that, it's nice and loose. I'm just gonna pull it just enough to get that damn belt off. Just like that, it comes off. So Let's see if I can remove it. So on this model, on the variable pulley here, we have the same issue with the keepers that are a part of the frame. So what I did was I just whipped off that 1/2-inch bolt and washer. So now you should be able to pop this thing out of here. It's going up a little bit, but we just need to work with it. Get it up and out just like that. Now we can get the belt out of there and replace it. So just pull that out just like so. Already gotten it pulled off from up here. It was easier just to drop the pulley to the ground. There's the old belt. Here's the new one. And just to double check, I just spaced it out by hand, both hands off camera. It's the exact same size. So let's get on with replacing it. Fish it on up through here, this part of the frame. Just like that. And I'm just going to situate it in the back so we can lift up the variator again. Of course, one-handed. That one's in. Should be another one. There we go. That's good, as advertised. So now I just have to put that bolt and washer back in to the variator, and then we'll be good there. Get that thing back on and finish her up. Everything up front is put back on, button back up. So now we're just gonna get this thing in, and I'm gonna have to do it off camera, but we're gonna have to route this thing so it's around the big pulley first, kind of angle the pulley as we go, get it around the variator and around that other idler pulley up there. So shouldn't be too bad. So what made this a lot easier was disconnecting the spring that goes right there to that part of the frame. You can see it kind of hanging down there in the middle. So I was able to move this idler pulley back as part of the whole bracket. So now I just need to reconnect the spring up back to here. We'll get the tension back on it. And then at this point, the belt is on, both of them are installed. We can put the battery back in. That battery's a little flat, so I'm gonna have to use my booster. All right, so what I did was I got a old lawnmower pull cord, looped it around the end of the spring, and we're just gonna pull it on through, just like that. Perfect. So now I just need to pull the thing out. There we go. So I'm gonna do some cleanup, and I'll meet you guys hopefully with the start and drive. Unfortunately, that didn't fix it. It did make it a little bit better. As you guys noticed when I was first pulling out, it was actually jerking and then going and jerking and then going. It wasn't doing that before. Before, I had to completely hold this down here like this to get it to go anywhere. But now, if I just leave it in forward, it'll go, but it'll jerk, but it still works best if I hold it there. So what I think is wrong is the variator is worn out. So I'm gonna have to replace that. I don't know how much that part costs. I am guessing it's more than the belts. But anyways, that's how you replace the belts on one of these. The next repair, I'm likely gonna have to do the variator and Probably look into some pulleys. You guys can look forward to the next video on this machine. Hopefully that'll be the last one for the drivability part of this, but hopefully we're on the home stretch, and then I could start rebuilding that piece of junk.